Two women and a girl marched along a path by men in uniform said to be similar to those worn by some serving in Cameroon's military. One of the women is carrying a baby on her back. Then in a clearing, the group is blindfolded and forced to sit down. A man can be heard saying, "You are Boko Haram, you are going to die," before the men point their weapons at the group. Then gunshots are heard. Cameroon's government dismissed the video as being what it described as fake news. It said the release of the video was a desperate attempt by its enemies to discredit the government's efforts to combat Boko Haram.
This is another instance of gross misinformation whereby the alleged facts have nothing to do with the work of the defense and security forces within the framework of the mission entrusted to them.
It's not the first time Cameroon has been forced to defend its soldiers against accusations of human rights violations. Earlier this year, Amnesty International said government forces had tortured people it suspected of belonging to Boko Haram. It went on to say that security forces continue to arbitrarily arrest individuals accused of supporting Boko Haram, often with little or no evidence and sometimes using unnecessary or excessive force. Those arrested were frequently detained in inhumane, life-threatening conditions. The military rejected the findings and said its members respected human rights. Cameroon's troops are fighting armed groups on two fronts. For the last 2 years, they've been battling English-speaking separatists operating in the west of the country. In the north, Boko Haram fighters have in the last 4 years mounted suicide attacks and kidnappings. The emergence of the video isn't going to help the government fight or improve its reputation in or outside Cameroon. Barbara Angopa, Al Jazeera.